What's up, gamers? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Today we're talking about the top console add-ons for update 47. I already made a previous video about this. If you want, go check it out. This is just going to be a new and improved version with some of the same add-ons and some even better ones on top of it. So go ahead, sit back, watch, and enjoy. So to install add-ons, you're going to press start, you're going to go to options, you're going to scroll all the way down to add-ons, browse add-ons, and here you will have a very full list of many add-ons that you can download and install. It's very simple. All you have to do is press A on the add-on and hit install, and it will install the add-on and any other of the library add-ons like these that you see here, lib, harvens, lib add-on menu. It'll automatically install those that are associated with the add-on. So it makes it really simple for you, not too complicated. The first add-on that we're going to be going over today is PvpCooldownTracker. Now this one, when you search for it in the add-ons menu, you go to browse add-ons, and we're just going to type in PvpCool search and PvpCooldownTracker beta. Okay, it looks a little bit different in the browsing menu than it does in your actual add-ons menu. So when you have the add-ons installed, you're going to want to press start, and you'll see a new menu called add-ons. You go to the add-ons menu, and you want to scroll down to the add-on that you just installed, PvpCooldownTracker. So with this one, we can select a specific set that we are wearing. In this case, I'm wearing Dark Convergence. So you can scroll through all these different sets that he's got here, and we're going to enable tracking to on. Now, we'll see that when I go attack this dummy, since we have to be in combat to proc Dark Convergence, we have that skull symbol to the top left of my crosshair. And when I cast my Dark Convergence, Dark Convergence cooldown started, and there is a timer counting down on that skull telling me when my next Dark Convergence is available. I don't know about you, man. After years of using DarkCon and having an actual timer on my screen telling me when it's back up and not having to judge it off my potion or just sheer counting in my head or guessing, this is an actual fucking game changer. Shout out to the add-on creator. Now, just to capitalize on this add-on just a little bit more, there's tons of other sets that you can pick from. Olorime, Null Arca, Powerful Assault. I mean, just go through it. There's so many options. Unfortunately, it seems you can only have one of them active at a time for the time being. So pick a set that you want to track the cooldown for that's most important to you, and you can use a combination of that and some of the other add-ons that I'll be showing you throughout this video to fully track your entire kit. Alright, the next add-on we are going to be talking about is called Artaeum Group Tool. It appears as that name. Just search Artaeum Group Tool in the downloads, go ahead and download it. This is a fantastic tool. Before going into the settings, we can see exactly what it does on the top left corner of my screen. We see the wonderful Alchemized. Her name is big yellow letters. As she casted her ability there, we can see her stamina bar and her magicka bar moving in real time as she's casting her abilities. We are both able to track our resources and health and ultimate numbers, as well as which ultimates we are using, all in that one corner of the screen. Fantastic add-on, and it also does some quality of life changes for PvP groups, for example. So I think even dungeons. So let's go through these settings real quick, and you guys can kind of adjust these how you would like. So obviously we want the module enabled. PvP only, you can set it to on. I like to have it on all the time. You want to hide base game health bars, or else it's going to show the vanilla game health bars in the corner under the add-ons health bars. You don't want that. You just want the add-ons health bars. Hide custom health bars off. We want to see our custom health bars. Show magicka and stamina bars. Personal preference, I like it. I think it's kind of cool being able to see everyone's resources at any given time. UI mode, there's a few different options here. My favorite one is the ultimate number. I feel like it's the most valuable. You can also see the ultimate percentage and their health. which I don't think either of those are as valuable as... you can hit show window outlines to adjust the position of this while you're editing, and hide window outlines to just hide it once again while you're in the menu. This is very important. Crown arrow module. So the first thing you want to do is enable this. Set it to if you want it for PvP only or not. Note that this does not work in trials right now. This part of the add-on does not work in trials. You will not have the crown, the extra marker on the crown. Okay, so you want to change your marker type. There's an arrow, there's a crown, and there's a beam. I really like the beam. It makes it look like your crown has a fucking Elder Scroll on them at all times. It makes it super easy to follow. Okay, and you want to hit show marker on. Now, a few changes that I made was full alt health color. I changed it to yellow. So I think by default it's green. This will overlap with the color of the stamina bar if you're tracking your group member's stamina. So you want the full alt health color to change to something that's not green so that you can see every component of the add-on. Okay, and this will light up the health bar when they have full ultimate. As you can see, Alchemize has 500 ultimate, so she can cast both her soul tether and her barrier. Alchemize, if you're here, can you go ahead and cast one of your ultimates so we can see that go down in real time? Fantastic, now her ultimate's 0, and we're barriered. Very cool stuff. I highly recommend for the crown module changing that beam to a very visible color, like I have it pink, purple, I'm not exactly sure what that is. Marker opacity 25, marker scale 100, offset 0. Those settings all work fantastic for what I do. And that's it for the Artaeum Group Tool. Alright, so real quick, side note, backtracking a little bit. We just logged into a new character, and as you can see, the Artaeum Group Tool on my name and on Alchemize's name is not tracking our ultimates anymore. So, it's a relatively simple fix, kind of unfortunate that you have to do this for some of these add-ons. It's just the nature of these add-ons and how they work. So how to fix this, you're going to go into options, you're going to go all the way down to add-ons, and you're going to go to manage my add-ons. And see here, you see Artaeum Group Tool. What we're going to do is disable it, and press the button that it says on the bottom of the screen to reload your UI. As soon as the UI is done reloading, we are now going to go right back to where we were under Options, Add-ons, Manage My Add-ons, and we are going to, once again, enable Artaeum Group Tool and reload UI again. And as soon as this is done reloading, you will see that it will correctly track both of our ultimates, and the add-on will be working as intended once again, as we can see in the top left. Cast my ultimate, get it back, it's all tracked in real time. Simple fix, kind of annoying, that's how you do it. The next add-on we are talking about, we can actively see counting down on my screen, the Major Resolve Countdown. So, this one, if we go here into my add-ons, we are going to look for this one called Buff Tracker. It's called Buff Tracker in the Browse Add-ons menu. Just type in buff and you'll be able to find this with no issues. So how this one works is you have a list of major buffs, minor buffs, major debuffs, and minor debuffs. Okay, now when we click on major buffs, you get this whole new menu, okay? What we don't want is to track all of these buffs. That's way too much. We want to track individual buffs that we are using within our build that we find important. So, for example, what I am tracking on this specific character is I'm tracking Major Resolve, since I'm using Expansive Cloak in PvP to give my group an armor buff. Now, what happens when we set this timer to 18 seconds? So I cast it, it's a 20-second timer. Once it hits 18 seconds, it's going to pop up on my screen letting me know to recast it. Obviously, recasting the skill 2 seconds after I just casted it, that's kind of obnoxious, too much of a warning, right? So to track it in a more meaningful manner, we can move this number down to say 5 seconds or 3 seconds. Whatever you think is a good amount of time for you to get that warning to recast your buff. So as we see now, this is where I fast forward 10 seconds, and as the buff is coming down to 5 seconds, the Major Resolve tooltip comes up on my screen to recast it. So very helpful for tracking all kinds of different buffs. On this one, you can have a bunch of these active. You can have, you know, major evasion up. So let's see, if I put major evasion on and I set it to 20 seconds, whenever I cast my major evasion ability, and, you know, it's counting down, it's counting down. As it comes down to 20 seconds, it's reminding me to refresh my major evasion buff. So, again, play with this, set your buffs timers to what you feel comfortable with and what you want them to based on what your build consists of. Alright, next add-on that we are going to be talking about is SimpleWarhornTimer. It says SimpleWarhornTimer. It's honestly a little bit more than just a Warhorn timer. Super cool add-on. Very cool for tracking a lot of important buffs. Again, you can change the UI position and scaling. This is like a general thing with most of these add-ons. You're going to see it in most of their settings where you can reposition them to your liking. So here we see a list of all the buffs that it tracks. Now I'm going to show an example like Major Brutality, okay? So I can get Major Brutality from my Netch. Now we see that bar on the top, to the top left of my crosshair. And here we have Alchemize next to me, and she's going to cast Spell Power Cure on me, which is going to give me Major Courage, being another one of the buffs that's tracked. And as you can see, as she's recasting it and reapplying it to me, that timer is constantly refreshing and letting me know that the buff is up on my character. I think it's a fantastic tool to have. Super visual, just easy to see, and you can really easily see the uptime of the sets that it does offer. It doesn't have all of the possible buffs in the game. It also tracks Pillagers if you're wearing Pillager. So super cool overall. Alright, the next add-on we're going to be talking about. This one's really simple, super useful for both PvE and PvP. It's called Crown and Crux. It does exactly what you think. It adds an additional crown symbol above the leader of your group. Very, very helpful in combination with Artaeum Group Tool, as it'll add a massive crown above the group leader's head along with that huge purple beam. And you can also have the in-game marker by holding right on your D-pad and putting a marker on yourself like so. So you have 3 different things that your group has on your head, on your crown's head, so that they cannot not be on crown. Okay, I think it's fantastic to have. So let's go over crown and crux real quick. So all it does is it tracks how many cruxes you have. I'm not on an Arcanist right now, but when you are on an Arcanist, it will track your cruxes in a separate window to the left of your crosshair. And again, you can change the offset of it to exactly where you want it on your screen. And another very cool thing is it enables headstones for dead group members. So if someone's dead in your group and, you know, maybe they got left behind, they're behind the group somewhere, you don't have to look too hard for them. There's going to be a huge headstone indicating where they're dead at, and you can do what you got to do to get them revived. Super cool add-on, highly recommend it. Very simple. And the last 2 add-ons I want to talk about, the first one is TSC Price Fetcher. TSC is Tamriel Savings Co. They have ran the Discord price bot and have basically had all the price checker stuff in place for Xbox for the last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years. Like, God knows, it's been so long. So they're super in tune with the prices on Xbox. Highly recommend this add-on for checking prices. And as you can see, when we go into our inventory and hover over an object that has a cost, it's going to show us exactly how much it costs. Like, for example, this Coldstone Treb, we see the average price is 800 gold. Okay, super cool, super simple add-on. And the last add-on that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it very briefly because I talked about it in extreme depth in my previous add-on video. I will have the video linked in the description. It's also going to pop up on the screen right about now, so you can click on it, go back to the end of the video if you want to see the settings that I'm talking about for this last add-on. That last add-on that I'm talking about is FancyActionBar PLUS. So a lot of the cool things about this action bar is the potion timer. I used a potion, see now we have an actual timer on it. I think I really like the ultimate number change, so if I'm maxed out on ultimate, it's going to show, you know, in big red numbers that I have 500. And it also shows the countdown of the barrier skill when I casted it to the right of the ultimate. Now, something that's also very cool is if I'm spamming my radiating regen here, there are 3 numbers in that little box of radiating regen. The main number on the bottom that you see is the cooldown of the skill, or I'm sorry, how long it's being applied for. The number on the top left is showing how many people the buff is being applied to, and the number on the top right is showing how many of those buffs are applied to me. Now, if I hit my expansive cloak, when I'm in a group alone, I only see the normal cooldown. Now, if I group up with Alchemized, and then I cast it again, see how on the top left it shows the number 2, showing that my Major Resolve has applied to 2 group members. Now, Alchemized, go ahead and spam Radiant Regen with me. And see how that number on Radiant Regen on the top right has changed from 1 to 2, because I now have 2 Radiant Regens on my bar. So I think that's very cool. That also works with other buffs and skills that apply to multiple people, such as Echoing Vigor, so you can easily track that, how many people, how good your uptime is in your groups, and things like that. Alright, and the last add-on we're going to be talking about is an honorable mention. It's really not too necessary. I kind of like it. It just helps give me a visual of when I'm blocking, and it's the one we're looking at right here, AmIBlocking PLUS. Pretty straightforward add-on. There's not too much to talk about within the settings. Basically, if I'm blocking, it's going to tell me that I'm blocking. The number to the left is how many roll dodges I have before I run out of stamina. The number on the right is how many attacks I can block before I run out of stamina. The roll dodge isn't super accurate, obviously, because there's a ramping roll dodge increase cost. So the more I roll dodge, the more stamina it's going to cost me. I don't know if the add-on accounts for that or not. Just bear that in mind when you're using it. But I think it's super cool just to kind of have an extra visual. Probably very helpful with PvE tanking and things like that. Alright, overall, that's been my updated add-ons video. The best ones that I use for update 47. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and don't forget to watch that last video for the ActionBar Plus settings, because it's honestly extremely complicated and it fucks up your UI. Please do yourself a favor, do me a favor, watch it. Thanks, bye.